Thank you.
Okay. I'll call this meeting to order. Let's have the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we need a motion to approve tonight's agenda, and I don't believe there are any changes to the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All second. It's been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The fourth item of business is to administer the oath of office to Justin.
All right, okay, we'll stand, we'll raise your right hand, I'll read the oath, and it says, I do swear that to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and the state laws of Idaho, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee of Kendrick Joint School District 283 in Layton, Nez Perce, and Clearwater Counties, state of Idaho, according to the best of my ability. Thank you.
All right, welcome, Justin.
Thank you. I'm just having this sign here, and I'll take them. Thank you.
Okay, the first item of business is a public hearing on the district budget. So I'll hand over to Mr. Kirk.
Does everybody have a copy of the budgets? Okay, I'll just go through some talking points on most of the different funds within the budget. If you just want to follow along with me there on page 1, that has revenues for the general M&O. We have an estimated carryover balance of $1.6 million and an overall budget of about $5.1 million. This is calculated using the base support amount. That's over on the right side. Of about $1.9 million, which is made up of salary apportionment and the entitlement. The entitlement is the amount of dollars we get per unit, and that increased this year by a little over $6,000 per unit. So the jump in the budget revenue is a lot due to that, and also the career ladder, increased funding from the career ladder. Okay, so that is a glance at revenue for the general M&O. The next page is the expenditures. You'll see that the bulk of the expenditures are salary and benefits. Also on page 2, we budgeted again in 546, we budgeted $100,000 for the detention center, just in case we have a student who needs to attend North Idaho Children's Home in Williston. The total appropriated budget expenditures stays near about $4.3 million, so it's actually pretty similar to last year, and that is because we increased our unappropriated balance this year, and we also took other line items more down to actual. We over budgeted it in quite a few areas last year, and so those are a little bit more close to actual.
It's actually page 3, sorry, it's kind of messed up because the expenditures do different pages than the revenues.
Yeah, page 3. Also, in the contingency reserve is 5% of the total expenditures, which comes out to $205,160, and then salaries and benefits account for roughly $2.7 million of the general fund budgeted expenditures. And feel free to stop me along the way. Okay, so that's, if you get to page 4 there, you see the total appropriation prior year budget along with the proposed budget for this year. And that has some of the information I just talked about down there in the budget summary section of the budget. Okay, the next area, 220. is the Federal Forest Reserve Fund. There's a carryover there of $66,369 and an overall budget of the same amount. We've used these funds in the past for miscellaneous things, also including helping to purchase buses. That's Fund 220, Federal Forest Reserve Fund. A new one in here this year is Fund 238. That is the Student Activity Fund. I haven't included that in the budget in the past, but we are required to now. We have a proposed budget of just under $99,000 there. And that is the schools?
That is both schools' activity funds.
Schools activity funds. So that's not a part of really any other section of the budget, correct? Okay, 241 is driver's education. We budgeted just under $5,000. That's a tiny bit more than last year. Our numbers of students taking driver's ed has increased a little bit. The driver's ed money, if you recall, is simply flow-through money. And varies depending on the number of students that are taking driver's ed. Page, it says page 5, but we're back a few more
Well, the
pages to that.
revenue pages are different than that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go through funds.
Yeah.
You get the idea. The state professional technical, we have budgeted, let's see here. There's some changes on this one. We have budgeted $26,660 for that one. These funds come to us based on the CTE courses that we offer and are used for supplies as well as supporting extra day contracts for CTE. That is the State Professional Technical Fund 243. 245, technology. We have anticipated revenue of about $45,000 there. That money is used for, as it says, technology, salary, benefits, and technology needs, and does not cover everything. Okay, that's 245. 246 is safe and drug-free or substance abuse fund. This is a special distribution. We have a carryover balance in that one of about $18,000. We have an overall budget of just under $23,000 there. We have used in the past for various things. We've used it to send our counselor to the prevention conference, the state prevention conference. We've used it for security cameras, different things like that. There's a little bit of flexibility there. That is the safe and drug-free money. The next fund is 250. This is ESSER 3. We haven't done anything with that. We still have $227,000 in there. Those need to be expended by 2024, December of 2024.
That's basically COVID.
Those are COVID. Yep, that's the final COVID distribution. 251 is Title 1A. This is used for salary and benefits for our Title 1 lead and aid. We have a proposed budget of just under $49,000 in that one, and we use all of that one. 254 is ESSER 2. We've spent the bulk of that. We have about $7,500 left in ESSER 2. We've spent roughly $80,000 of those funds for various things over the last couple of years.
When does that have to be spent by?
ESSER 2?
What'd you say?
When does it have to be spent by, ESSER 2?
December of 2023 or 2024? I could double check it.
ESSER 3 is 24, so maybe it's 24.
Yes, it's probably 23.
Okay, so that's ESSER 2. Fund 257 is IDEA. We have a budget of $62,000 there, which is up about $6,000 from last year. This is used to support special education, salaries and benefits. These are federal funds directed towards special education. This is from the American Rescue Plan Act, and that is just over $10,000. Fund 260 is school-based Medicaid. We have $45,000 budgeted, which is the same as fiscal year 22. This is used to support special education salaries and benefits related to Medicaid. 261, Title 4A. We have $10,000 budgeted here. This can be used for other title programs as well, to help support other title programs, and generally is. $262, which is known as REAP, the Rural Education Initiative, Title 5B. We have $28,999 budgeted, and is a bit less than last year. These funds are somewhat flexible. We've used these in the past for things like sending our team of teachers to trainings, conferences. We use them for Leader in Me program at the elementary, things like that. $271, Title II. We have just over $16,000 budgeted for benefits related to Title I instruction and professional development. The Title I funds don't cover all of those Title I costs, so we support it for some of the other Title I's. $273, the after-school program. Same dollar amount as last year, just under $120,000 is budgeted. Remember, the new 21st Century program doesn't decrease every year like the old grant did. It stays flat. So that's why it's the same amount. Now, the district is currently paying for 50% of kindergarten salary, which that's what we get funded for. And then this program is paying for the other 50% of kindergarten salary. And then benefits, the district has been providing 100% of the benefits for kindergarten. Now, with the increased funding in literacy that's meant for kindergarten, we'll be able to use literacy funding to help support kindergarten. And then if the grant ever wasn't in place and we still had these literacy dollars, they would be directed towards kindergarten salary as well. $290, we have $135,000 budgeted, which is up a little bit from last year. $310, bond redemption and interest, no changes really there. It's down a little bit. $420, plant facilities. With the plant facilities, we try to stay near 50,000 spent each year, which is what we have coming in. We do have a carryover in plant facilities in case we do have an emergency, so we try to keep that spending basically where we have the same dollar amount that's coming in. $424, bus depreciation. Let's see here. So this is funds that we use to help purchase new buses. We depreciate our buses each year for as much as allowable. We have an overall budget here of $73,920, and we are looking at maybe transferring some money in there this year in order to make sure that we have enough in this fund when it's time to buy a new bus in a couple years.
Right, so.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so we depreciated $33,920, and I just put an extra 40 in there for transfers in. If our fund balance is up, we can transfer more into that account to purchase a new bus if needed.
Okay, and
So
then
what are we looking for next bus purchase?
we've been kind of on a 3-year schedule. So our last bus was 21. So if we ordered it sometime in 23, delivered it in 24, we're going to be on schedule. The last bus we ordered was a bigger one, so we're doing pretty good right there. Yeah, so probably next spring, start talking about it. 610 and the internal service fund. We need to get guidance on that one, because with movement to the state of Idaho insurance, that internal service fund is going to not be needed for the buy-down program because the buy-down will go away. So one of the things that Chad and Don will talk about tonight is negotiations, and one of the things that we have you for you to review is basically like a reimbursement program for staff members for vision, dental, and orthodontia, like up to $1,500. We would need a vendor to facilitate that reimbursement program. And so Amy talked to MBA today, who's been facilitating the buy-down program. So we're starting that conversation as far as what we can do as far as finding a vendor for that reimbursement program. So this is still in here, but yeah, there's going to be changes coming. And with that, are there any questions?
Anything else for the budget hearing? Okay, so I guess we'll declare an end to the hearing, and there'll be an action item later in the meeting. The next item is to approve the consent agenda, which includes the May minutes, bill payments, personnel actions, and resignation. So Morgan LeBlanc will no longer be the athletic director, and Kim Berger and Casey Brown will no longer be in Century 21, and Kevin Hamilton and Shannon Hamilton is going to go work in Lapway or somewhere. And we need a new police service director, and Denise Siflo and Nathan Twite are going to be similar just over that. And we have to accept the resignation of Don Quigley. And I'll let you guys look over the bills a little bit. You still need to pay the bills.
Sorry for your.
Would
Would you like my readers check?
Make sure my vision wasn't.
We're feeling like this is our vision. I know.
Yeah.
I can see it just fine, Kim. Don't let it.
Next one.
So what's the flying classroom STEM virtual?
That's exactly what it is. It's just a science STEM. For next year.
the preschool did buy the bouncy castle?
They what?
Did the preschool buy the bouncy castle or did they rent it?
No, they rented it.
They rented it.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
It's been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. No patron input. Financial report, Kim?
Okay, you have your fund balances, those are getting cleaned up this month. I've got a lot of payments that have been coming in at the beginning of June. So you'll see more on the June fund balance deal that cleans it up. Our July payment will be in July, and we'll bounce that back to June. Our tax payments, probably about $250,000 will come in July, they'll bounce back to June. And I'm gonna be working with the accountants, the auditors. They have sent me the information that I need to clean things up and get things going with them.
How have the auditors been? Do you think they're gonna work out?
They've been great on the phone, and
Okay.
they've sent me a few emails, but
Okay.
we'll see. They seem really good, and they worked with the Cammy or Tracy, and Cammy says they're awesome. So I don't know.
Okay. Anything else for Kim? All right, thank you, Kim. Technology Director's report.
Well, we've got, right now, we're in the middle of device inventory, bringing everything back in, doing the assessments, and then we'll order parts in July, depending on what we've got. So far, it doesn't look too bad. With all of the ones that died during the year, I have quite a bit of stuff I can cannibalize to get things back up and going. Like I said, we're continuing with summer work. We're in the middle of our modernization project right now. I'm working with CompuNet on that one. Once that gets put into place, then I can start working on the deployment of the new devices, and we're going to do those in stages out to the staff. So we've got that going on. We've started the NutriKids to Mosaic move over. We've already transmitted our data to them. So that's coming. They're in the process of building the database in the back end and then getting our stuff imported. Since we were already a Heartland school, the transition from one to the other is much more seamless than had we come from another product. So that's for what they call the front of the house. So that one will be done, and then once we get that completed, then we have to work on the back of the house, which is like the recipes and ordering, that kind of stuff. And so that'll be the next phase of getting that done. I have sent out the training links to, I believe, both Denise and Kendall. So they're going to start working on getting trained up on how to run the software and get that going. And then whomever we hire for food service is going to be drinking from a fire hose for a while. So Hopefully next week or the week after, we'll be starting our move from Securely over to Go Guardian, so that'll be starting. Once I have a good chunk of this modernization project done, I can start on, there's an upgrade to our Infinite Visions employee access, and they've been hot to trot on trying to get us moved over, and the problem is we have to get this one thing done first before we can help them get that changed and up and going. The other thing is we have fiber on order for the Fieldhouse project. That has to be made and shipped from overseas, and I think the end of the month is when they said it was going to be here. So we will be trenching from the corner of the building over to the new field house. That's going to be our backbone from there. So that's what we've got going on. And then I've got the laundry list of stuff that we have to get done every year. So that's where we're at right now. So if you have any questions.
Any questions for Dana? All right, thank you, Dan.
You?
Principal's report.
I don't really have much, but we are in the hiring process tomorrow for a second grade teacher, and then a few aides that have applied. So we are looking for a 101 and then a part-time aide. So anyways, start that process tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep, I have four applicants for the second grade, and then a couple for the big positions.
Anything else for the principal? All right, superintendent's report.
Okay, all of those things at the top that we are regulars, we don't have anything there. Athletics, our football team attended football camp in Butte. Volleyball team completed a 2-day volleyball camp here put on by the University of Idaho staff. So there's things going on there. Facilities, just working on getting classrooms going and cleaning and furniture and things like that prepared for the fall. Report cards have been sent out along with updated 4-year plans for each of our high school students. Honor roll list has been sent to the paper. For the school district, staffing, so like Dory said, we're working to fill open positions. Right now, see if I'm current here. 1 JES teacher, a couple custodians, AD, food service director, and after-school program positions. Is that all of them?
And 8 positions.
8 positions and other 8 positions. So we're working on those. Summer projects, they'll get going here pretty quick. JES and KHS gyms is scheduled to be redone in the next couple of weeks. Gyms will be closed during that process. The strategic planning survey, we have about 100 responses so far, so it's actually pretty good. We were shooting for 100, we have about 100. And we're going to get more too. Besides email, we were able to collect surveys from the grandparents' breakfast at JES, so that was good. And we'll work again beginning of school to see if we can get some more, maybe the senior center, things like that. And then sometime in the mid-fall, we'll have that town hall type meeting to start diving deeper into that, get that plan put together. And the last thing is I wanted to have a quick discussion about athletic passes. With the increase in cost for athletics, we do not keep up with, as far as cost of athletics, with revenue coming in. So we have revenue coming in through pay to play. We have revenue coming in through the gate at events and ASP cards, and it just doesn't keep up. If we had no teams going to state, or maybe just one team a year going to state, we'd probably be okay. With as many teams as we have going, we're just not keeping up because hotel prices, you know what those look like right now. And just travel in general. What I would like to talk about is increasing the cost of our passes. So we have a family pass and we have a 15 game punch card. Currently, with the 15 game punch card, it costs $60. So a person, generally an adult, gets 5 events. They pay for basically 10 events, they get 5 free. With the family pass, that costs $225. So for a family of 4, if they, you know, 4 people are using it, it's about 11 games that they are attending. If it's a family of 2 using a family pass, it's 19 games. So over the course of a year, we have anywhere from 31 to 35 events, somewhere in there. If we raise that, I believe it would take a hearing because it'd be probably over 5% increase. But I would like to possibly propose increasing that punch card pass from $60 to $75. So instead of 5 free events, they would get somewhere around 3 free. The family pass, if we went from $225 to $260, that would, depending on how many people they were getting in the game, it would decrease some of the freebies.
So to be honest, I don't think they're necessarily getting it for the free. I think it's just nice to not always have cash and have
Yes.
pay. So I think you could just even have it be
I agree.
2 games. I mean, I don't personally think that that's the main benefit why they're buying it.
Okay, you guys open to that though? Okay, so next month we'll have a hearing on that. I'll put a proposal together and we'll go for it.
Approximately how many people buy those?
We had, I think, 9 punch cards and somewhere between 11 and 15 family passes. It's not a ton, but it's
So,
yeah. That's all I got. Any questions?
You get the attendance up.
yeah.
How do we do that? 4 people playing, 4 kids.
Some of those junior high sports don't have as much as some of the high school
Mhm.
kids. So hopefully, some of those classes have a lot of family in the area.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see some numbers go up.
I think we have more kids participating this next year, and so I think that'll drive up some of the gate.
We have 22 football players for
Yeah.
8-man team.
Yeah.
We only have 2 football games.
So far.
I actually, so Kendall and I were talking about it yesterday. We were like, well, what if we just did away with passes? But we both thought, really, actually, people buy them because they don't want to have cash at the game in many cases. So they are convenient.
But really, I think you could, I mean, that's what you sell, not so much that they're getting a game for free, you know. And you could really limit it to just even one game or just the convenience.
Okay, we can talk about it next month. Other questions? Okay, that's all I got.
All right. Any trustee reports?
I just wanted to say, both Dawn and I went to Mrs. Quigley's retirement party. It was nice. There were a lot of old timers there that came back that had past teachers and administrators and principals, and so, but it was well attended and the family was there, so I thought it was really nice. So. And then my son participated in that football camp, and just so you know, I mean, at first I was like, but he really enjoyed it. It seemed like it was a good camp. So just wanted to share that from a parent's perspective. But, I'd really like to do. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Anything else? Okay. First action item is to approve the next year's school budget. So we'll probably need a motion or discussion if anybody has any discussion.
So just, you know, I mean, gas and food, you know, we feel like we have to just kind of monitor that part with but like milk is crazy. So,
Yeah. Well, if we have to, you know, move money around, we can bring it to you and ask for a transfer. Like we have that unappropriated amount that if we, you know, need to use that for something like that, then we'll talk about it.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 23 district budget.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded, we approve fiscal year 23 district budget. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So thank you guys for all your work on the budget. Okay, the next action item is to declare a trustee vacancy in Zone 2. Well, I can't make a motion.
can I make my own motion?
There's no, you can make a motion. Do we have to make a motion, or is it just a declaration?
I think you have to make a motion.
Yeah, it's a motion to declare a trustee vacancy. Yep.
I make a motion to declare a trustee vacancy in Zone 2.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we declare a trustee vacancy in Zone 2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next action item is to approve summer flooring project. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Steve?
No.
I think we walked around. When we walked around, we looked at the different spots.
One of the things I guess I will add a little bit. We had talked during the walkthrough of redoing the cafeteria floor the same as the kitchen floor. I asked Joe to hold off on that because I prefer to have the flooring that we do in the cafeteria flow into the hallways and be the same flooring. And so I just want to hold off on that. So we're just going to do the kitchens with the flooring that he talked about.
I make a motion to approve the summer flooring project. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the summer flooring project as listed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next action item is to consider amending classified starting pay rates. So I'll let Steve speak to that.
I'm just going to pass around the proposal, somewhere to start the conversation. So, oh shoot, I don't have the current rates. Do I have it in the board document?
Yeah.
The next page.
I don't have it in my packet. How was my packet? Okay. So, things in yellow are different from the current. If you want to look at the two. Increasing the starting pay would affect a few people because it would take the rate above what they're currently making. Most people it would not affect, but it would affect some. I think that looking at the top there, that gets most of those rates pretty more competitive and more competitive with neighboring districts as far as where people are. I think it will also help recruit people a little bit better. We've got some openings right now, and it's something people are asking about when they call and want to apply. And then I also changed a few things down there in the lower section, the substitute positions, and the miscellaneous things as well. Some of those hadn't been updated for quite a while just because we didn't really have any reasons to look at them because we had people that had been in those positions for quite a long time and it really wasn't affected by starting rates. So.
So, substitute, so do you pay substitute teachers the same as, I mean, somebody who has certified and not certified?
Yeah, we do. We redid that one last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before? And we increased it from, I think, we had two different rates. We had like a 60 and a 70 maybe, and we just made it a flat rate. Because logistically that made more sense for us. It was a little bit easier, and it didn't really change much.
And I assume that the people that, like, if somebody isn't making their starting pay, we would bump them up to their starting pay, I would assume.
Yes.
Was there any discussion?
Well, I think it gets us up there, we're kind of where we should be. More competitive. So it seems like we've been struggling with custodians the last few years. Even.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that the starting rates help. I think we're gonna have trouble for years anyway.
Yeah.
But I think this helps a little bit. I think our insurance change helps a little bit. It's just gonna be an ongoing thing, I think.
I'll make a motion to amend the classified starting pay rates as, oh, it's just a draft form.
You can't make a motion.
Oh, because I make banking. I'm done. Can I leave?
You know what?
It's
We'll
not
probably
yours.
hurry.
I'll take it to go.
Justin's gonna make that motion.
Justin, you go ahead. It's good practice.
I'll make a motion to amend classified starting pay rates.
It's been moved and seconded that we amend the classified starting pay as to what is presented. My clerk understand that?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, so we're done with that. Amending this district office calendar, which would have a week at Christmas and a week at spring break. So somebody want to explain that?
Yeah, so it was requested that we amend the district office calendar from 260 days to 250 days. Close the district office at spring break, close it for 5 days at Christmas. That is slow times for us. So it would be less days out of the year, but it's slow days, and we don't necessarily need to be open those days, I don't think. And it also is more in line with, very few districts have their district offices open during those times, in the region.
And so who wouldn't be?
So this would affect,
Who would it affect?
Amy, Kim, and Dan.
Okay.
Now, when we look at other 260-day employees, those are times when kids are not in the building, and they're a valuable time for people to work. So that's why it is where it is. Yeah, it was requested.
It-
Any further discussion?
I'll make a motion to amend the district calendar.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded that we amend the district office calendar to exclude a week at Christmas and a week at spring break. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next item is to approve the 22-23 negotiated agreement and salary schedule. I guess Chad can go ahead and.
So we agreed to a 5% increase for certified. There was a few changes to the master agreement. Pretty minimal changes. I don't know if you had those highlighted or not. One off the top of my head, that they put in there, teachers can't be evaluated by cameras.
I think the major changes were the insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this change to the state of Idaho insurance plan, which we'd already approved, so that was put into the master agreement. And then it was agreed upon to offer employees a $1,500 reimbursement for anything related to vision, dental, or orthodontia in the next fiscal year.
Another one is on the district will reimburse 3 professional development credits. Before it was, I think it was $900. Maximum benefit of $2,000 annually. Those were the main ones.
And we have, there's also a clause in there about incentivizing professional development to address identified employee evaluation for the advanced professional endorsement. So if teachers have the advanced professional endorsement, they get to move up on the clear ladder, and the district gets more money. And there's really no incentive for them to do that because it really doesn't affect the salary schedule unless we change the salary schedules. So there was a request from the KEA to work on that, to encourage teachers to take professional development.
And you can see on this page here what the salary schedule would look like with a 5% increase to the base. And there was some changes down here as well.
Yeah, we just kind of cleaned up the stuff down below on the schedule.
Yeah. So, and then with that reimbursement that we were talking about, we did that in a memorandum of understanding attached on to the master agreement to basically do that next year and see how it goes, see how much it costs, and then just revisit it year to year. So you see it at the end of the master agreement in the board packet.
But we really don't know how we're going to administer it quite yet.
You spent a couple days before school and then a few hours after school I think the Monday after school was out
Yeah, that morning.
negotiating.
Wasn't too bad, it was pretty good.
And we were happy with the negotiations, with the way they turned out. Are there any other questions about anything about the negotiations and the salary? Teacher agreement? On the supplemental schedules, we also kind of cleaned up a little bit about when we needed an extra coach.
On some junior high.
Yeah, like in junior high or cross country, and that was just, so we kind of made it more uniform through the whole system, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 22-23 negotiated agreement and salary schedule.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the 22-23 negotiated agreement and salary schedule. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimously. Okay, consider changes to classified pay and benefits. You want to talk about that?
We generally include this in the same board meeting as when we approve the master agreement and changes to certified salary schedule. So I put it in here. So this would affect classified pay after June, starting July 1st, for those people that are 260 days. For most folks, it would start happening in September. And also, you know, the memorandum of understanding that we talked about with certified staff, that would only, at this point, affect certified staff. So if we wanted to do something like that for classified staff as well, it would take board action.
I'll make a motion that we increase classified pay 5%, the same as certified, and also provide a $1,500 reimbursement benefit for vision, dental, and medical promotion.
Second.
Okay. Question, so
I guess I should say,
the 5% thing would, if somebody is going to be bumped up in their hourly rate, do they get the 5% on the $14 or
Whichever one's higher.
whichever one's higher?
5% on what they're making right now. If that's higher than the starting pay, then they would get the higher amount.
Okay.
If the starting pay is higher,
Everybody understands
yes.
that? Okay. Any other questions?
and I guess I should say the $1,500 reimbursement, I guess would be kind of a, we'll see how it goes type.
Right,
you
yeah.
know.
Board members should be in on
If
that.
possible, or whatever.
Yeah, because board members can get insurance through the district as well.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we consider that we changed the classified pay, increase it by 5% and include a $1,500 reimbursement for vision, dental, and orthodontia, if possible. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, the next item is to consider changes to the administrative pay and benefits of Dory and Steve. their pay 5% too. And include them in the vision demo. But I can't make the motions.
One of you three.
I'll do it.
Go for it. This is your first time.
Yeah. I'll make the motion to change the administrative pay and benefits to include 5% increase in also the $1,500.
Okay.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we increase Dory Nelson and Steve Kirkland's pay by 5% and include them in this, in the vision dental on North Carolina at $1,500. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We have some supplemental extra day contracts. Ag teacher has 30 days, Morgan LeBlanc has 5 days, Villiers has 10 days, Ron Belair has 8 days, and Heather Anderson has 8 days. We need to approve those supplemental contracts.
I move we approve the supplemental contract with the 5 people.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded we approve the supplemental extra day contracts as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Any board member input for future agenda items? With, what went on in Uvalde, Texas, and I know there was issues brought up with negotiations, and I kind of feel like we don't really have a plan for safety. We kind of do, we sort of do, and we've talked about a lot of different things, and so I'd like, that to be one of our emphasis next year as to what we can do. I know, like at Julietta, we've talked about the front doors, and if they're gonna lock the front doors, then they gotta go out and unlock it for everybody that wants to come in, so maybe that's an area. I know negotiations they talked about cameras in the ag shop. We were gonna do that anyway, but it hasn't happened, So there's just a lot of things, and I feel like we need to have somebody in the district kind of looking at those issues for us. So that would be one of my requests, I guess. Any other requests?
Who would you suggest you look at these things?
Well, that's up to the administration.
They did start locking the doors at JES. So towards the end of the school year, those were locked during the day. It's harder at the high school when we've got passing period because kids go out to the shops and back and forth. So it's an option. I don't know if it's a good option or not, but I know like some schools that have that situation, they just have the doors on a timer and they unlock during passing period and lock again after passing period. And then people have to buzz in to get inside the building. We've talked about it before. We've never done anything, but we've talked about it. But that might be something to look at.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we don't have funds available to do something like that.
Well, even if you look at individual classroom doors too, there's something, I know we've changed out quite a few doors.
Yeah, I don't know if we're there. Are we there?
I feel like we have those in a pretty good spot now, where we can lock them from the inside. Would you say so too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we got all of them changed out at Juliet. I think there were a few left there and that was done.
So we got those, we got the new doors in, we can lock them from the inside quickly. Actually, most of the doors are probably 50% are locked anyway during the day, during class. I contacted most of the teachers have like a strip that cover that opening. I contacted a company a week ago about those those magnetic strips you can put over those. I'm still waiting for them to get back to me, but anyway, I think those are pretty good. I think it seems like the main entrance is kind of the big issue, and then the second issue is people putting rocks in the doors.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the nothing right there. No matter how far away I carry those rocks, they always come back. Anyway.
Okay, is that it then? The only thing we have left is a motion to adjourn.
I'll make
March
a-
3rd?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries. We adjourn.